Hi, welcome to another episode of Look Ma No Hands. My name is Linda, and this is my podcast where I talk about crochet, art, the books I'm reading, what I'm watching on TV and at the movies, sometimes things that are going on in life. Occasionally I do a little segment that I call Fancy Footwork, where I show how I do things that I've adapted to use my feet in place of hands, as I was born without arms. So this week, I'm still working on the Granny Square project. I'm down to the last two colors that I need to finish off, to have all the squares completed, and hopefully next week I can get into stitching all those squares together to make the blanket and finish making the video explaining the whole project. As I've said in the past, I'm hoping that it kind of inspires you to do something similar. Mine is going to be quite big. I've made the squares big enough that it'll probably be big enough to put on my queen size bed. So yeah, that's what I've been working on pretty much all week. There hasn't been as much time this week to crochet as I had hoped, because I was hoping to finish the color that I'm working on now. I'm working on the red squares, but there were other things going on that kind of took me away from being able to do that. And Tim and I found a new obsession to do. So yeah, we've been spending a bit of time with our new obsession, and I'll talk about that later. This week, what I've been reading, again, some things going on that kind of took me away from reading this week. So I was hoping to get through like maybe 2 or 3 books, but I only finished one and like 3/4 of a book. So I'll only be talking about the one that I finished, which is The Village Beyond the Mist by Sachiko Kashiwaba. This book is a book that was published in Japan about 50 years ago, and it is the book that Spirited Away is based on. I've never seen the entire movie of Spirited Away, but now I'm kind of curious to watch it to see how it compares to this classic children's tale from Japan. I call it classic because obviously 50 years of this book means that it's an enduring story. It was a lot of fun. I really liked it. The story is about a little girl that typically goes to her grandmother's house for school breaks, but her father decides to send her someplace different for the break that she's anticipating. And he kind of doesn't really explain too much to her about where he's sending her, but he thinks that it would be good for her to go to this place. She's a young lady who feels like she's not mature enough when she shows up to this place that she's supposed to go to. She feels like she's not very self-sufficient. She doesn't really have a lot of skills. And the woman that kind of runs the boarding house agrees with her and decides to send her off to different places in town where she can be of use, be helpful, and kind of learn some new things. Because the girl is unsure of herself, she's kind of questioning what exactly she's supposed to be doing in these various shops and places that she goes into. But it turns out she has skills that she isn't even aware of, and some things that are happening in the town that only she can help out with. She does manage to fix some things that are going wrong in town, and she didn't even realize that it was possible for her to do that. So it was a lot of fun just learning the new character, like each character that comes into the story, seeing how the main character interacts with all of the more minor characters. It's just a lot of fun. It was a really like whimsical type of story. At the end, when it kind of seems like she's completed her mission, so to speak, and she's being sent home, she thinks that she's being sent off never to return again, which kind of upsets her because she realizes that her father had been allowed to come back more than once, so she's questioning why she's being told that she's no longer invited to come back. So the ending was kind of cute, just seeing how she reacts to that and how things turn out for her in regards to her time in Misty Valley. So yeah, it was a fun story. I really liked it. So if you're looking for just something kind of lighthearted and quick to read, because it really isn't a very long story, then this is definitely one that you could check out. And if you have any children in your life that you want to like snuggle down to do a nice little bedtime story, it would probably take, maybe like the course of a week or so to finish this particular story as a bedtime story. The chapters, a few of them are quite short, so it would be a really great bedtime story because you could kind of plug through several chapters at a time, or just, if you only have a few minutes to read for the evening, then just read one chapter. And it's enough of a book, like in each chapter with those little short chapters, that you could easily just read one chapter and be like, okay, that was 5 minutes, now it's time for bed. So it's a fun story. I think you guys would really enjoy it. What I've been watching this week, obviously, the Daily Watch of General Hospital. I'm really getting kind of tired of Who Shot Drew. I'm hoping that they wrap it up, but it kind of feels like we'll probably be at it until well after the holidays, which is kind of frustrating because, I mean, when is it going to end? Just, can we get a new storyline going, like something? Yeah, it's just wrap it up already. We are continuing to watch a few episodes here and there of the Golden Girls, and since we don't have Who's the Boss to watch anymore, since we finished that about a week or so ago, we have gone back to watching Everwood, which is a nice little kind of family/teen drama that Tim and I are enjoying. So yeah, that's been fun there. And then all three of us as a family at dinner time sit down and watch the Holiday Baking Championship, because it's just kind of a fun thing to watch and really great something to watch during mealtime, since Tim won't watch Grey's Anatomy with us during meals, which stands to reason. It's not exactly great fodder for while we're eating, but he definitely enjoys watching the baking championship and all those kind of baking shows. We've been seeing the advertisements for the kids baking championship that's coming up in a few weeks, so we're getting excited for that one. But yeah, that's pretty much all we've been watching. And part of what's been taking me away from doing things this week was on Monday evening we went to the Shriners holiday party that they have every year. Tim has decided that he's probably too old to be going to the party as one of the patients, so he has kind of teamed up with the family that comes in with all the toys donated to give to the kids, and instead of trying to go home with toys, he likes to go and help the kids select their toys in the little Santa's workshop area, and just kind of still feel like part of the celebration, part of the party, but now he's kind of like leveled up and matured into being somebody that helps give the joy to the kids that come to the hospital. So yeah, we still go to the party and get to see like all of the staff and everybody that is there at the hospital, kind of like our second home, our home away from home, and people that we've kind of bonded with through the years, so that's always fun. Unfortunately this year the December curse hit us yet again, and we had some car troubles on the way there, which then bled into Tuesday because I had to go with my parents, who are always great about coming to the rescue, and we went to look into what was going on with the car. My dad was able to quickly fix the problem. We got the car home and it seems to be doing okay, but yeah, this is probably like the 4th December in a row that one car or another, because this is a different car than the one that we had initially that did our little December curse that I call it. So yeah, December is just not a good month for us with our cars. So It was a bit frustrating earlier in the week, but things seem to be calmed down and resolved, so that's much better. And then the other thing that has been really consuming a lot of our time, Tim and I have become obsessed with playing Boggle on Netflix. If you access Netflix through a tablet or a PC or a laptop, or in our case, the Amazon Fire Stick, you have access to Netflix games. And I discovered this a while back. I was playing the game on there that's called Oxenfree, which is kind of like a role-playing type of game. And you're trying to figure out like how to get through this kind of like a warp zone type of deal, a haunted, I don't know what you want to call it, like a lakefront or like a seaside scenario where you go for a campfire with your friends and things go haywire and you're trying to like escape whatever possession happens at the campfire. So that's Oxenfree. But Tim and I started playing Boggle on Netflix. So Boggle, if you're not familiar, is a word game that is actually like a tactile game where you can have the game board with the little letter cubes. You shake the cubes, they fall into the spaces, and then it's like a word search where you're trying to look for words amongst the jumble of letters. We do have the actual physical game that I've always loved playing. Most of my family doesn't really want to play with me because I love the game so much, because it's a lot of fun for me. I love word games. So when we saw that Boggle was on the Netflix app, we could not resist, and Tim and I started playing. The cool thing about it is that you use your phone as the game controller, and so then each person kind of has their individual screen on which they look for words. You get, starting out, you get 90 seconds to try and find as many words as you can. The rules of the game are such that any words that all the players find, or more than one player, right now we're just playing the two of us, so any words that we both find only get 1 point for every 3-letter word. Any word that is more than 3 letters, you get an extra point for each extra letter. And then any words that are unique to you, you get double points for that word. So initially, Tim was quite frustrated because, again, as I say, I love word games. Boggle is one of my favorites, so I was mopping the floor with him. He was so frustrated because my score was usually like triple, quadruple what his score is. At one point, he was saying that I'm making words up, which maybe in the like real life version of it, not the digital version, would be easy to do, but playing it online, playing digitally, you can't make up words. It won't accept the word if it's not an actual word. I do question, though, some of the words that they were giving as this was the longest word. Some of them didn't seem like they were real words, and unfortunately we didn't have enough time to write down whatever those words were to be able to go and look them up to see, is that in fact a word? So that frustrated us a little bit, but he's gotten much better over the course of the week. He's been able to dethrone me several times, and I can hear him practicing by himself in his room playing Boggle solo, which is an option on the Netflix game. So yeah, he's working really hard to try and surpass Mom. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, he's been able to dethrone me a few times as we're playing. And when I say we are obsessed, each evening we've been playing and time gets away from us. The first night, I think we played for 3 hours, which is, like I said, quite obsessive. And I don't think that many of our sessions were under 3 hours. I think there was even one that was close to 4. So, but we're just replacing what we've been watching with playing Boggle. He really enjoys it, so that's a good thing. And yeah, that's pretty much the summation of what we've been doing this week. Something else that's kind of taken me away from reading and crocheting and all of that good stuff is the fact that we've been going to the gym a little bit more since it's been so cold out. We can't go out walking. We take some time to go and do some exercising, and it seems like a lot of other people are doing the same thing because we like to ride the recumbent stationary bikes, and there's only 2 of them. And a couple of days this week when we've gotten to the gym, other people have been riding the bikes, so we've had to kind of switch up our workouts a little bit. And yeah, we've been doing some of the weight machines, and then we went into the room where they have the punching bag, and in there they also have like Bosu balls and yoga mats and things like that. So we were in there doing some core strengthening exercises using the Bosu balls and just kind of spending time together. Not that we need to spend more time together, we spend a lot of time together, but just another activity for us to enjoy, just the 2 of us. So my mom obviously comes with us too, and she was able to ride the upright stationary bike. So yeah, we've been trying to stay fit during these chilly winter months, and it's only the beginning, so we have a long time to continue our training and exercising. When the weather gets nice again, we'll be back out on the trails walking and maybe even running a little bit. Running's not my favorite, so we'll probably just stick to nice leisurely walks out on the trail. But yeah, that's what we've been up to. Kind of a short, uneventful week this week, but uneventful is a lot better than crazy stuff happening like cars breaking down and what have you. But if that's the worst of what can happen, I guess we're doing pretty good. Hopefully the weather where you are is not nearly as cold as what we've been experiencing. Hopefully you're not somebody coming through with the terrible rains that we've been experiencing in various places in the country. Yeah, the weather has been wild, so I hope you are safe and getting ready for the holidays and getting snuggly and warm for these cold winter months, just kind of doing whatever your favorite thing is. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.